Hey Tony, it's Thursday. And first off, to answer your question of the week, I haven't really worked or made a lot of stuff for Amtgard lately. I think the last thing I did were the loaners I made back in December or January. So, anywhere between 20 years and 20 minutes ago in 2020 time. So, what I want to talk about today, at first I thought about, going on a real deep dive on the Supreme Court, on the election, and some of my concerns about it. Then I realized I'm going to make this video again sometime when we get even closer to the election. Honestly, it might even be next week when I make this video because every single day something new happens. So I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to talk about politics this time. Instead, I'm going to do something a little bit different. So, as you know, I'm working on a project. It's a podcast that's going to require a lot of voice acting and a lot of editing and a lot of recording said voices. So I figured I'd make a little more lighthearted video this time. And I'm going to challenge you to something, Tony. In a video, can only be 10 minutes long, I need you to do as many voices as you possibly can and have them sound distinctly different. So I'm starting off this video with my regular voice. This is the way I usually talk. And it's one I don't try and do too much with. But depending on the character, so one of my favorite characters I played was Alexander, a half-orc ranger. And his voice was a little more like this. It was a deeper register, a little more gravelly, something that you would think a half-orc would sound like. Another character I really enjoyed was Devin, whose voice was really high and adventurous. This was what he did. He was all about the adventure, all about everything. He loved life. And I have a bit more of my, trying to go a bit more of a southern country-like voice. This one's not my favorite. It's one I don't think sounds particularly well, but it's something I try. And now I just have other deeper voices that don't quite hit that same gravelly register that the last one did. I have Captain Cosmos. Young heroes, I believe in you. I truly, truly believe in you. And we also have Graviton. His voice is a little more muffled, a little more like this. And I also help make it so by by putting my hand over my mouth as if, I had a mask on of sorts. And now, well, we all got another little southwestern voice that's not quite as obnoxious as my southern voice. So there are a couple other ones that I'm trying to think as I'm going through them. So I kind of played around with a voice for a ghoul. Now, ghouls in Fallout are the zombies. And it's like this. Hey there, smooth skin. This voice is not one I use too much. Because it hurts. Alright, well, I also just have a bit more of a it's high noon. One I've used after playing McCree a few times in Overwatch. Or after playing Red Dead Redemption 2 with Arthur Morgan. I'm trying to think, I have some other voices that I usually try and go through. Yes, my mad scientist voice. This is a really fun one to do because it's so full of character, to say the least. I also have a character who makes an appearance in almost all the games I run. Is someone who wants to sell you a very nice lampshade. It's a really nice lampshade, 1 in a million. You'll never find another one like it, so you should buy it right now. It's a really nice lampshade. I also just have a bit more of a, especially after watching Doctor Who, especially during the David Tennant years, I had a bit more of a British accent that I worked with. Now, it's not one I'm as good with as I was back when I watched Doctor Who regularly, but it's still one that I think allows me to be fairly decent. I have just my general heroing voice. If I have a paladin, Deus Volt, smite the non-believers. I also have a preacher character in a game that I'm running who talks like this. He has the much louder, projecting voice of a televangelist, someone who you would believe them if they tell you what a certain book says. For heed not the word of your neighbor, forever heed the light of Victarion. And those are just some of the voices that I do. I lost track of a lot of them, and I'm really trying to work on more voices, particularly for the podcast, because I want every voice to sound different, because every character is going to absolutely be different. Now, I have a couple people who are helping me out with it, who will be doing different voices, but it's still going to be a challenge, and it's something I really want to work on. I really like voice acting. I think it's really fun, and it's why I like doing it so much with different characters, because a voice can tell you so much about a character. A voice is one of the things that just stick with you. Like, I think no better situation of this is better than Rorschach from Watchmen. Jackie Earle Haley, who's a fantastic actor, made a voice that I will forever see with Rorschach every time I read anything involving him. And it's things like that that really make something stick with you. And it's something that I really want to get a lot better at because it's fun to do, and you never know what could come up. Maybe like people really like the podcast because of all the different voices, so it's up to me to make sure that they really enjoy it. So Tony, again, my question for you is, first off, how many voices did I guess my question for you is, how many voices did I do in this video? I'm sure I have more that didn't immediately come to the top of my head, but my challenge for you is also, in a video, do as many voices as you possibly can, and I'll count them out when we'll see. So Tony, I'll see you on, I think, a Monday now, right? Later, bro.